What's up, everybody? This is the Full Scale Outdoors Podcast, and I am your host, Dale Luganbill. On today's episode, you may be familiar with today's guest. He has already been on the show, so if you have been listening to the episodes thus far, you will recognize him. He is Orlando Childs, or Buck the Black Hunter. He is also known as I Took a Trip Down There in episode 3, which there is California, to take in what he had going on around there. We caught some sharks and did some fishing on there. So this time around, it was my turn. And I brought the Californians to Minnesota, and they were in for a treat because for going most of the season without much snow, we had like 3 quick succession snowstorms, and that just made everything more difficult, slowed everything down. But what it did do is give them the full Minnesota experience, and we talk about that on this episode. So if it's a little lower key, just know we both, when we recorded this podcast, were exhausted. And it was all worth it. We had a great time. But like anybody from the upper Midwest here knows, when conditions do what they're going to do, you just got to power through it. So there it is. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, obviously, I'm just going to drill this into your guys' heads. For those of you who have already done it, I appreciate it. But for those of you who haven't, find us on Facebook. Give us a like. I'm on Instagram, fullscale_outdoors. And, if you're listening to this podcast, rate it. If it's available to rate on your platform. I'm not familiar with all the platforms, but it is available on most of them. But like if you're on iTunes, I would really appreciate, give it a 5-star rating, leave it a review, and that's going to help immensely. And share it on all social medias. Get the word out there. And if there's anybody you would like to have on this program as a guest, let me know. Get a hold of me via Facebook or Instagram. Or whatever, give me a call, 612-209-5438. Send me a text. Get out there. I would like as variety of guests as possible. I know we're coming up here in the spring. I'm not a real big turkey hunter. I do it very relaxed. So if you know somebody who's maybe a turkey guide or just entertaining individual that knows a lot about turkey hunting, spring turkey hunting, and you think they'd be a great fit, man, send them my way. Let's talk turkey. And that is a pun. Didn't really mean it, but hey, there you go. Anyways, I'm rambling because that's what I do. And let's just get right into this episode. Oh, here we go, boys.
Go.
Ooh, I love that sound. This is a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Welcome to Minnesota. This will be the Campfire Evolution episode 2, part 2.
Part 2.
I traveled to California, got my leopard shark. Baby shark, do 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 do. Leopard shark, do 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 do. But so then you had to come out here.
Yeah, I had to come out here.
Give you the Minnesota experience.
It was honestly the best Minnesota experience I could have imagined. I did not expect this experience actually at all.
I have no idea. It was a concert of, wow, what would you call it? A concert of obstacles. I mean, you brought the weather. So when I went to California, it rained the whole time after it had just been nice, but we managed. We fought through it. And so you show up here, and we've just been getting dumped on ever since. Snowstorm after snowstorm after snowstorm. But at least it's not 40 below zero. That might have been a little much.
That would have changed some things, for sure.
That might have been a little much for you. But, yeah, so we had my ice house was on Mille Lacs, and so I had to go get that off after this last big storm. I hadn't been able to get up to it for a while. Yeah, it was crazy. So finally we got it off. Well, the Nitty's Hunters, they were great. Hunters Resort, they went out and plowed me out, and so we plucked that off. And then I had we had a plan. The original plan was taking this like hiking lake, because you wanted Kassie to catch a northern pike, which in Minnesota shouldn't be that hard of a thing to do. And they had some good panfish in there. We were going to go beaver hunting at first.
Yeah.
So like we had all these grand schemes and plans, which could have easily we could have done. But things just fell through. I had my buddy Matt Hilton, who's a fellow iron worker. He traps beaver. He was going to help us out. Well, first he couldn't, and then he said he didn't have to work, so he could. And we're like, yes. Well, he can go up to his cabin. He's like basically guaranteed us a catch up there, and then that fell through. And then he got called back into work. We're like, well, whatever. Back to plan B.
Things happen.
Back to plan B.
Exactly.
We'll go in there. We can set that trap. And then it just took longer to get because of the weather, it just took longer to get everything together. It took longer to travel to places. It took a while to get the Yeti Ice House off Mille Lacs. And so I'm like, well, I fished this private lake in the past, and it's been a while since I've been there. And if we can get on that, that's where we want to be. This lake is stupid. It's a shallow lake. Like, it's 5-6 feet deep, the whole thing. It shouldn't even have fish in it, but it's got big walleyes, big pike, big bass, it's got big everything in it. It's stupid, but it's private. So I stopped in earlier to get permission this year, and he wasn't home, and he wasn't home again. This time, I'm like, well, I don't even know. Let's go out there. And he had a little road plowed out there, so I'm like, sweet, this is what we're doing. Awesome. So we go out there, we set up the old Yeti, and get everything put down, and some water starts coming up in the holes. If you're from Minnesota, or probably anywhere in the northern states, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Dakota, South Dakota, the ice fishing states, it's not. It happens. Like sometimes, especially when you got as much snow as we have, it puts pressure on the ice. You make a hole, that water comes up. But a lot of water came up, like probably 4 to 6 inches came up, which was, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It wasn't like coming into the house or anything, except you did try to step out of the house once in your tennis shoes.
Didn't end up very well.
Yeah, that wasn't the smartest thing.
It wasn't. I didn't think about the water when I stepped out. I was just thinking, I got to go pee. I'm going to go pee outside.
It reminds you real quick.
It did. It reminded me real quick.
The door flew open. You like jumped back in. I was like, whoa, what the heck happened?
I fell back in. I
see you in your tennis shoes. I'm like, oh, bro, that wasn't smart.
No, it was not smart. California was not prepared for that.
No.
Do nothing. It's like wearing socks.
It was crazy. So then we still ain't fish. We went hole hopping for a little bit.
Yeah.
Trouncing through 3 feet of snow. Dude, that's a good workout.
That was a good workout. Holy smokes, running backs. If you ever want to lean forward drills, you need to get out here in this freaking snow and start doing some lean forward drills.
With my 50-pound boots.
Holy smokes, those 50-pound boots. Jeez, my abs feel like
my clam boots, dude. But they're warm though, right?
They're warm as hell.
Comfortable and warm, but yeah, they're heavy. Yeah, you're not. They're not meant for hiking. They're meant for sitting still and keeping your feet warm, which they do a spectacular job of doing.
They also do a spectacular job of abs.
Yeah. So that didn't yield anything, and then Kassie was in the ice house, and she missed one. She had a rod that went off, she said, and then she missed it, and then we just kept fishing, and then sure enough, one of the rods goes down.
Dang.
Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Pass the rod off to you and caught your very first walleye.
That's what I came here for, too. I wanted a walleye.
Fish. We only caught one of them. And we just didn't have that much time. But, I kind of figured we'd get some, the rattle reels would go off during the night. And Kassie was kind of freaking out about being on the ice.
Yeah, that kind of.
It's understandable. Like, I get it. Most people from the South, they're like, we're driving. What do you mean we're driving on the ice? What do you mean?
Yeah, I was down. It's. I'm proud of her for coming this far in the first place.
You guys are troopers. Yeah, I mean you've gone. I mean, you might have raised an eyebrow too when I said a certain thing, but you did not do it. You guys jumped Jumped in, both feet.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. And then, so back in the Yeti, catch that walleye. And shortly after that, my generator starts, it stops working. Like it's running, but it's not putting out power anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't getting no power.
So I'm messing with that, and we topped off gas. I shut it off, started it up, and look on the internet for things that, if there's any tips online, and I'm not finding really anything that I can do at the moment. I don't know, the stuff starts piling up, like reasons like, the water, it seems like more water's coming up. The generator's not working, so I'm like, well, obviously the heater will keep going for a while. The batteries are all charged up in the wheelhouse. But if they don't, if they, go out in the middle of the night, we're under another winter storm warning. Like it's starting to snow. I was like, boy, we better make a break for it, I think.
Cassie said it. She said, all right, well, we caught a fish.
Yeah, she's like, hey, we caught our fish, so, if you want to go, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't too surprised. She volunteered.
Yeah.
I don't think she was too keen on sleeping on the ice.
No, she did not want to sleep on the ice. She was so nervous. I planned to get her drunk just so we can sleep on the ice. But that didn't even work.
No, we had to vacate.
Yeah.
And it was in my mind. I really wanted you guys to experience that. And I'm like, well, heck, man, let's get off the lake. Well, getting off the lake, that's a whole nother story.
Man, getting off the lake, we had to shovel up snow. I had to go down a couple 50 yards and shovel up some snow and then make sure he had the clearing. And then, once you even got off the ice.
We got going up this hill, getting off the lake. There's a little ramp to get out, and we were making it. But then you get stuck a little bit, and then I'd back up. It was a game of inches. We're starting to gain slowly but surely. We're gaining, but then we hit a spot where you'd spin, and if anybody's the people that know have been have to drive in snow, like sometimes you'll slide, you'll kind of spin in one spot, but you'll actually kind of slide off to the side one way or the other, and this hill kind of sloped off to the right, so it would keep doing that. And what that happened was then when I'd go to back up, now it's like turning your wheel as you're backing up a trailer. So eventually the trailer kind of got, not like full jackknife, but it was definitely off at a little bit of an angle, and then it went off the ramp. And then we were just like, then it was no moving forward or backwards.
No.
So the landowner came out, and he was great, man. Rick was great. He was helping us out.
He's the best,
He came down with the truck, tried, then he's like, well, I'll plow some of this stuff out. And he got his truck stuck because it kept sucking him off, too. He's like, screw it. I'm going to go get the little tractor with the scoop on it. And he came down with that and started clearing out a ton more snow, and then he was able to get the truck out, and then he was clearing out some more snow, and then he got the tractor stuck. She's like, I'm gonna go put the plow back on. So he never did get the plow on, so he went and he put the plow on the truck, came down, cleared out some more, and then he put his tow strap. We basically had to like jerk, toe jerk, with me in 4-wheel drive, 4 low, and him jerking us out, and we got out, and then we helped him get his tractor out, and then it was midnight before we hit the road, and then it took forever to get home because complete whiteout conditions on the highways. And
talk about Star Trek.
Minnesota, bro. Yeah, he says Star Trek. Some people that might not know, when you drive at night in the snow, your headlights reflect off the big-ass snowflakes, and it looks a lot like when you go warp speed in Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever. And then if you put the high beams on, then that's just crazy. You can't see nothing but just white coming at you.
Your brain is just trying to digest what's happening in front of you.
But we made it home safely.
Yeah.
I successfully navigated us home, much to your amazement. You're like, I don't even know how you know where you're going right now.
All I knew was that there was snow in front of us. Couldn't see anything. All I could feel is the vibration of the side. What do you call those?
The rumble strips.
The rumble strips.
That's basically how I navigated. Was when I could see, you could see like the plow wash from the recent snowstorms. And I was kind of keeping it between them, not going in the ditch, and then kind of bouncing off the rumble strips on the shoulder and the center line ones. Like that was kind of how I kept. I kind of kept in my lane. I mean, I didn't really mean to do it that way, but that's kind of how it worked. I mean, I couldn't see where the lanes were.
Couldn't see anything,
dude. It was crazy. So then we wake up this morning,
Oh,
And
let's not forget that we slept like babies, and we freaking just like when I got home, I just passed out, man.
oh yeah, yeah, I went straight to
It
bed.
was just amazing sleep
There was no
because
unpacking, nothing. Like I took what I needed out of the truck and out of the Yeti. I'm like, we'll deal with this tomorrow.
drop.
Just dead. So yeah, we slept in a little bit, not too bad though. And then got up, and then we had all that snow, and I had to plow out the driveway. And so I had a plan. Like I wasn't because I didn't know if the generators were working and having time to work on those. Brought them inside for them to dry out. And then it's like, well, so ice fishing's kind of out, and we want to catch more fish. Well, I know of a spot we go fish the Mississippi River where we can catch a bunch of smallmouth
The
bass.
Mississippi, that's freaking cool, dude. I gotta say, I fished the Mississippi
That's right,
River,
bro.
dude. That's like check off the bucket
Biggest
list
river
right
in
there.
America right there, Jack.
Exactly, man. Like these are things that people need to do. Like even if you don't fish the Mississippi, just come and visit the Mississippi. It's like an iconic landmark in America that
for
everybody
sure.
needs to be a part of.
And people in Minnesota here, I think we take it for granted. You cross it every day on your way to work or whatever. It's like, it's Mississippi. No, dude, that's the Mississippi. Anybody that's
Yeah.
not from here is like, they read about that in school. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the biggest river in the country. Like, it's a big river. And there's other stuff like that, too. Then we just ran out of time. If you ever get a chance to visit up here again, I'd love to take you to Lake Superior. I mean, the largest
yeah.
freshwater lake in the world. Like it's.
Yeah.
I'm not understating to say it's not a little thing. Like and again, I think a lot of Minnesotans that we just take it for granted that it's in our backyard. Like this is a world. This in the world. Like this is a worldwide destination.
Right.
Like this is a giant landmark. Like this is a special thing. It's crazy, and it's right there. I mean,
And it's right there. But it's not so much different for me in like Alcatraz or
sure.
like, the crooked street. Like I don't give a damn about that crooked street. I don't want to see Alcatraz, you know what I mean?
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate
I'll
whatever.
go to Golden Gate Bridge. Traffic
Being
sucks.
that traffic for what? So
Yeah, true.
it's all
true
about
that.
perspective.
Yeah, so I had to plow out my driveway and get it so I can turn the truck and the Yeti around, disconnect that, and get the long rods loaded up. But we still had bait left over because we only caught one walleye, so that part was nice. So we tore off. When we headed out there, we got that. I got us rigged up. I made one cast. I was giving you a little tutorial.
Oh, my God.
I had a fish on before I
Snap.
could finish my tutorial, and they were biting. And you and Cassie just kind of had me running
Cassie
back and
caught
forth,
like
baiting
5
fish, and
Yeah.
taking fish off. It was great.
Yeah,
it
man.
was a lot of fun.
It was so nice seeing my old lady catch the fish, man.
Yeah.
Like seeing her have fun like that.
This is a full Minnesota experience, man. So it was snowing when we did that today, and windy, but we were kind of protected in those woods there. Again,
Yeah.
another little hike. Put on them 50-pound boots. Let's go.
Yep. Yep. Let's just say I think I might be investing in some boots just so I can continue the workout. Get the full benefit
Weighted
effect.
boots. Forget your kettlebells. I got weighted boots,
Yeah,
bro.
forget your kettlebells. But
Throw
don't
these
forget
things around.
the bald eagles, man.
Yeah, it's a cool place because the open water there, it doesn't freeze because of the water below the power plant, the warm water discharge. So there's all sorts of ducks on there, tons of mallards. There's Canada geese down there, swans, golden eyes. Yeah, so obviously the eagles are around because the open water's there. You can eat fish. And we saw some hawks out of
Obviously,
hawk
the
owl.
eagles are around. Are you kidding me? Like, for a Californian,
We only really
to
saw one,
see-
though.
No. Yep. Today we saw one.
Yeah, only one. There's usually like half a dozen of them.
See, but that's the thing is I've only seen in person besides coming out here 2 times.
Really? So it's going back to that. When you see them all the time, they kind of lose their flair. And I forget, like we see eagles in Minnesota all the time. Like they're not rare. They're everywhere. And so when somebody visits here, they're like, oh my gosh, an eagle. I'm like, yeah, well, it's like a crow with a white head, whatever. Seen them.
Yeah, no. That's like my favorite bird.
Yeah,
know
you
what I
keep
mean?
saying, what, 10 years in apprenticeship and
10 years of
falconry
apprenticeship.
if you can
Yeah.
have yourself an eagle.
By the time I'm 50, I want to have my apprenticeship.
That is a lifestyle, though.
It
That's
is.
like you have to give up elk hunting. You have to give up everything. This
Well,
is
by
gonna
that
be your
time,
life,
I'm
bro.
hoping that I'll have everything else under my belt. And, everything else will kind of be flowing on its own. I'll kind of have my because honestly, since I got my antelope, I have no interest in hunting antelope anymore.
Sure.
So like I'm
Check them
wondering
off if you're going through your bucket list.
yeah. So if I get whatever I want by the time I'm 50, I'm hoping, I'll have
Maybe you just
filled my
haven't
tags.
found your true passion, like the one thing that, and maybe you won't ever. I mean, I'm not a specialist. I'm an all outdoorsman. Like I know how to do a lot of different things. I'm definitely not a specialist in any one thing. I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. Kind of a thing. So I mean, maybe you're more like me. Maybe you're not going to find become
It
a
could be elk
diehard
hunting.
elk hunter and just get dork out in that, just become an expert in that.
The
Could be.
one thing I'm afraid about elk hunting is I'm afraid to fail, and you can't be afraid to
Oh
fail.
no, that cannot be in your bag of problems.
But
Like,
because what
you
I'm
should
afraid
almost
of.
assume to fail, like, and be glad you didn't when it goes your way. I mean,
I think what I meant by that is I know I don't know enough.
yeah. No, I think that's great about you in that you've kind of recently stumbled upon, and for anybody that's just listening to this episode, it's probably do you some good to go back and listen to the first Campfire Evolution episode that we did when I went and visited you in California, because we kind of break down, what Campfire Evolution is about and give your history a little bit more, and so we don't really need to rehash that on this one.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to that. But I think it's great, and I think it's great that you're able to be honest and be like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and this is what I want to do. And because I think that I don't think you're alone in that. I think there's a lot of people out there that are, maybe they're watching Randy Newberg on, whatever outlet, and they're like, man, maybe they're sitting in downtown Minneapolis right now, and they're like, I don't know anybody that hunts, but I feel like there's something I'd like to do, but how do I get started in doing it? And it's just that it's taking that leap of faith, and man, you've jumped in both feet, and you're doing it.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
I mean, and I'll tell you this from my backstory. Like, I didn't grow up hunting, so stuff that I hunt now, like I'm self-taught. I mean, not complete. I mean, I've met people along the way that I've learned stuff with, but most of the stuff came from reading magazines and watching videos. Not unlike what you're doing, but then going out and doing it. And to be honest with you, you learn more when you fail. If you go out and you hike 75 yards into the woods and there's an elk standing there broadside and you shoot it, load up in the back of your pickup truck and you're done, what'd you learn? That ain't elk hunting. That ain't
true.
I mean, it might happen like that once in a great while, but you didn't learn nothing. But if you go in and you hike backcountry, you're in there 4 or 5 miles, and you're like, oh, I forgot this, or man, this pack is heavy. I put way too much weight in there. I didn't need to bring this. I mean, I could have got by without this. It's learning how to pack and what you need to bring, what you don't need to bring. It's like, well, I thought elk were here, but there ain't elk anywhere. It's like, well, there was snow, and they moved into a different area. It's like, it's the times that you fail is when you learn. You don't learn nearly as much from success as you do in failure.
That's so true, because that's why I've slowed my roll on. Okay, I'm not gonna hunt elk this year. I'm gonna slow my roll and put in for a preference point and learn some more. I even said I'm gonna go on an elk hunt with somebody else just to help them pack it out, just so I can gain some education.
That would be great, and they'd be glad to have you. I mean,
yeah,
elk are giant, and if anybody's willing to help pack out an elk, dude, they're gonna be happy.
If anyone's having an elk hunt, man, out in Wyoming, let me know. I'll come out with you, and I'll just shut up and do what you say. No questions asked. You don't gotta pay me. I'll bring my own food.
Learn, man. That's what it's all about. So we kind of gave you the rundown of the Minnesota experience, but I want to hear it from the California perspective. So
cheese curds.
What did you cheese curds? All right, raw and deep fried, baby.
I gotta say, from day one, hitting the karaoke bar, that was like the entrance to a movie. Is like bam, action up front, and that's what it was. It was so much fun. different people. Like, you can look in the crowd and you can see a hunter, you can see a goth, you can see a hippie, you can see a meth head, you can see a gay, you can see a tranny, you can see a PhD doctor.
Sure, yeah.
Everything was there.
Yeah,
All
and
the colors.
I took you to that spot on purpose. It's one of my old stomping grounds, and it's a very diverse place. And I knew it would shatter the Minnesota stereotypes from people that just think it's flyover country. It's gonna be a bunch of farm boys, and it's like, oh, Minneapolis, St. Paul metropolitan area is as cosmopolitan as any other big city. I mean,
Yeah.
it really wants to be bigger than it is. Like we were talking about this, when you got here. It's like it has coast envy. I say, like, Minneapolis really wants to be in New York or in LA. I mean, you don't have a port, you're not going to ever be that big. But that's kind of what they, like, if a city can have its own personality, that's what Minneapolis is.
And that kind of sucks, because what I felt in Minneapolis was so much more of a home feeling than I want to feel in the city.
People are very accepting in this, so you kind of mix that progressive, and Minneapolis is very liberal and very progressive. Metro area for the most part is. Once you get outside the metro area, then it's, if you break the voting map down in this state, county by county, red and blue, it's blue in the metropolitan area, and everything else outside of that is red. That's mega country out there.
So is this red?
We're red here for
red.
Sure, yeah.
But this seems cool. This seems home for me. Like, I meet people, I walk in stores, and hey, bud, how you doing today? And we have a whole conversation about nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we swung into Gander today, just pick up some stuff, and we're in a hurry to get to the river, but we sat in there for 10, 15 minutes. You struck up an elk conversation with this random dude in there. And that's just how it goes.
That was like that whole experience of just walking in a store and just having a whole conversation with somebody. Because even before that guy, I was talking to somebody else, and there was somebody else, and then me and the other guy who worked there were talking about subsonics, and we stopped talking about subsonics for like 20 minutes, and it was just like, no, he wasn't trying to sell me. He wasn't trying to It was just him having fun talking to me. Awesome.
Oh, there's plenty of assholes in this state too, but people
Assholes
are pretty cool.
everywhere.
People are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different thing, to the point where you and Cass are like, I don't know, start looking at some properties out here. And maybe we should move to Minnesota. I cured you that when I was out shoveling snow this morning. You're like, it's too much work to
seeing
live here.
seeing the fact that you have to spend an hour and a half clearing your driveway before you go somewhere.
But it's not every day, though.
Yeah.
It's not every day. I mean, you came here during, literally you've only been here, 4 days, and we've had 2 winter storms. I mean, that's not normal.
It doesn't seem normal when you're here, when you come here for the first time, and that's what you see.
Yeah,
it's like, this must be
what
what it's
up
like
until
all
these
the
last
time.
few storms, we haven't had hardly any snow. It's like we were in a snow drought for the first half, all of last year and then into this year.
Well, there you go, 24 inches.
So now it's like boom, and now we're coming into March is like the snowiest month on average. That doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna get a shit ton of snow, but on average it's the snowiest month. So,
and what's crazy is I can go on my phone right now and look at my camera at home and see the sun outside.
Sunshine. Yeah. So it gets dark here in the winter earlier. I think it's like 5:30. I think it's darkness now. But I was telling him he needs to come to Minnesota again in the summertime when everything's green, all the nice blue water out there, and it's still light at 9:30 at night.
Yeah. Well, now that Kassie has a best friend upstairs, we'll probably be coming out here pretty often.
Yeah, they hit it off pretty good.
I'm going to be honest. Cassie's probably not going to like me for saying this, but I'm going to say it. Kassie doesn't have a huge friend list. Her friend list is she's very like, okay, you're here. Now, okay, this is who you are. Like that circle,
right,
what she was talking about, she calls it her inner circle. it doesn't, like, this comfortableness out of Cassie doesn't come out.
Well, Cassie's in a very elite group a small group of people on my wife's friends list too. She has not been taking new friend requests or applications for quite some time now. She loves the friends that she has, and she's not really interested in making new ones. It's too much work, but she's really hit it off with Cassie, and they're two peas in a pod. They're both social workers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, going back to that original Campfire Evolution episode, we share a lot of
things in common.
Same laptop. We like the same sunflower seeds.
Same women do the same stuff for
yeah,
work.
It's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot the same. But I hijacked you. I was getting your perspective of Minnesota. So we started with the karaoke scene.
With the karaoke scene, the cheese curds, meeting people just in random places, driving down the highways. Yes, this happens in Wyoming and small towns too, but just the wave, the 2-finger wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get the 1-finger wave in LA.
Dude, the guy, John.
Yeah, the other ice fisherman. We were out on that lake. Another guy came out, and so we got to talking to him too.
Got to talking to him. Me and him hung out. He told me some things. I told him some things, and we hit it off. I had a shot. We drank a little bit, fished a little bit, and I was off. And we had a bunch. He was just so. I even got his number. Like, dude, you hunt deer? He's like, yeah, I hunt deer. I'm like, I'm coming out here next year to hunt deer with you, then.
Yeah. So you've been talking about Wyoming and this, that, and the other thing, and I'm like, well, man, what's a non-resident deer license in Minnesota? And it's like. So anybody's listening to this out of state, the non-resident license is $185. Whether you want to do firearm, the firearm is the same as the archery. So and that's over the counter. You don't have to apply for that.
OTC.
Just come out and buy it.
So I'm planning on doing that.
Pick your zone and let's go.
Because Wyoming is like the last time I paid for a tag in Wyoming, it was $398, but then I had a point, so that makes it more expensive for some reason. So it was ended up being like $470 something for all my points. I had a couple points that I just threw up there. And it was like $470, and I'm doing it again. I'm gonna be honest. Doing it.
Yeah.
I need to redeem myself for Wyoming. I don't want to repeat anything from last podcast. I think I might have talked about it already, but going back to the same area. But seeing all the big bodied deer out here, seeing that doe that looked like a cow.
Yeah. Anybody from the South comes up here and they're like, holy crap, look at the size of that. There must be a buck that must have dropped its antlers already. I'm like, no, that's a doe. You can see his fawns are right behind her. They're like, what? That's a forest horse right there. Like, yeah, we have bigger body deer.
When we were walking out and I was like, is that a wolf? I just seen a shadow.
Yeah.
And it was just this big bodied deer just trouncing through the woods.
Yeah, no, our deer are pretty beefy up here. They thicker in these colder climes. Like you go into Canada, Saskatchewan, and they're even bigger. Their bodies are just massive up there. They're huge.
The necks on these things up here.
The southern deer though, like you go down to Georgia, South Carolina, and it can be a beautiful 10-point, 12-point, 14-point buck, and it looks like it's like Santa's little helper from The Simpsons. Like somebody took a big rack and just slapped it on German Shepherd or something. Like they're so small.
And I'm hunting in California where they're probably about the same size.
Well, the blacktails aren't very big.
They're not very big. But you can get those if you get a special tag. You get a nice G or X zone. You can get a nice muley from the mountains.
Muleys are big now. Muleys get bigger, yeah.
Or you get a C zone tag. You can get a muley in the mountains. But those are like, you need a good amount of preference points to draw those.
Sure.
You got to be rich to hunt in California. And that's kind of why a lot of hunters, there is no hunters in California.
Yeah, a lot of ranches.
A lot of people are losing.
Pay to play kind of stuff.
And it's all $900 plus for a pig hunt.
That's crazy. $900 for an invasive species hunt.
That
does damage. We went hiking there looking for mushrooms that day. We didn't find any, but you could see where the pigs are rooting around. They make a mess. They just dig the earth right up.
But
it's crazy.
When you have people making money off of something, then everyone else is gonna do it.
Yeah, there's and so feral pigs are a problem, and I think it might be Missouri actually. Somebody have to fact check this for me, but I think Missouri actually banned hog hunting because they don't want to monetize it. So now they can manage it as a state and eradicate when they get a population of pigs. They can go in there and they can trap them and get rid of them, manage them. As soon as you, if they're legal to hunt, then what happens is guide services start popping up to take you on a pig hunt. Well, the last thing that guide service wants to do is hunt every last pig in the woods because they're not going to have any customers now.
Exactly.
So they're not going to. And then you got people that will import pigs and let them go on purpose just to make a buck off of them. So it's like they kind of went the opposite way, non-traditional route and like, no pig hunting in this state.
That kind of sucks.
Makes sense, though. I mean,
it makes
sense. I mean, if you believe that they're a problem and you're trying to get back to a native state, with natural fauna, that might be the way to do it. But I mean, I have kind of a different take on that, anyways, and all sorts of invasive species. I don't really want to get into it on this podcast. I'll save that for another time. But it seems like pigs have been on the landscape for so long that they're almost like a naturalized. They almost are a part of the North American.
I think so.
Ecosystem, if you ask me. It's like, well, look at pheasants. Pheasants are an invasive species. Came over from China.
Are they?
We have a Pheasants Forever conservation group.
I didn't know that.
So they're from China. Chinese ringneck pheasants is actually what they're called.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have no clue.
Yeah, no, they're not. They are not native to the North American landscape. They're everywhere now.
Everywhere.
And they're protected. They have
they're
laws.
protected?
Well, I mean, they're governed by game and fish laws.
Yeah.
There's limits, means of take, just like any grouse, any wild turkey,
that grouse I saw in the store made me want to go.
Oh, that big one, yeah. There's a local bait shop here that's got a giant one of them. I can't remember what they're called. It starts with a C, but it's the biggest grouse species in the world. It's like a Russian grouse. They're huge.
Want to go
basically
grouse
like a turkey, dude.
Yeah.
We got grouse here. We got rough grouse and spruce grouse in Minnesota.
Shoot, I'm down to do some.
Yeah, well, find
come
something
down,
with the
man.
dog, man.
Dogs.
I used to hunt them back in the day. I didn't have a dog, and that's basically just that's called taking your gun for a walk.
Yeah.
Because what they'll do, they'll just sit tight, and their feather patterns, there's camouflage, and you'll walk right by them. You don't even know they're there. The dogs will sniff them out and make them flush. But I mean, sometimes you can go out without, and rough grouse have a bad habit of making a sound before they flush. So you'll be, if you go kind of slow and you're looking around and all of a sudden you'll hear, beep, 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 beep. And you're like, oh, where is it? And you try to find it before it blows its cover and takes off. And if you can locate them fast enough and get that shot off, you can, it's easier to ground pound them than it is to shoot them on the wing for sure. But yeah, a lot of people do that. Then the spruce grouse are kind of, well, people say they're dumb, but it's just, they're not. I don't think it's an intelligence thing. It's just the way they evolved to avoid predators. They'll sit still in a treetop and just not move, and you can basically walk right up to them. So, I mean, we as hunters think they're dumb. Oh, they're so dumb. They just sit there and let you shoot them. Well, they're trying to. I mean, it works if you're a fox.
Yeah.
They don't see anything moving, or a bird of prey. They pick up on movement. So if they can sit perfectly still and just blend into the tree and not move, the predator might just keep going. So it works for them. That's kind of how, that's their, like I said, that's how they evolved to avoid danger. But for man to come in there with the gun, it seems stupid. It's like, well, I can just shoot you. Well, they didn't evolve. They didn't evolve around guns. So they have a totally different setup as far as their survival techniques are going. But yeah, we have grouse here, 2 different kinds of grouse. There's all sorts of stuff here, dude. You gotta move out here. Just gotta shovel snow once in a while, man. That's it.
I don't know about that, man. That's a lot to do. Oh, and it's cold and.
Yeah, but a deer tag for residents only like $28. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, but then I can be somewhere else though and get the same. Get the same. It's only $35 in California. The deer suck though.
Yeah, but you don't want to raise your kids in California.
I don't. I mean, I do because my family's out there. I guess it depends on the part of California.
They make planes, man. They make planes. You can take a
Man.
visit your folks.
Nah, my mom wouldn't hate it out here.
Send your mom out here. We'll take her out on the ice.
She
spend
would
night out on the
not even make it off the plane.
ice.
I swear to God, she'd be not. When are we going back?
Just come in the summertime when it's hot.
Yeah, I'll have to try and do that.
But then we have a lot of bugs.
She doesn't give a shit about
The
bugs.
mosquitoes are bad.
She just hates being in cold weather.
Well, it was nice today. It was in the 20s. I mean, until that wind kicked up, it was actually a pretty nice.
Even
day.
with the wind, it was nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
seeing that sun hit the snow, man, at that perfect angle, seeing all the snow glitter in the sky,
Snow
man.
glitter.
That was
winter glitter.
Winter glitter. Oh man, that made me blush, man. It made me feel like a little kid. I just wanted to start like skipping in the snow and shit.
So what did you think of we didn't fish Mille Lacs. What did you think of it? I mean, that's all those little village of houses out there.
Man, that was the most surreal thing that I've seen in the hunting world. Like seeing all these people, this whole community of people out on the ice in their own shell, just seems so crazy to me. And I'm coming from California where, yeah, there's a lot of boats and we have boat parties out, but seeing everyone on the ice and just like in my head, I imagine what happens if like something breaks. Like what happens if one of these goes through? Is it gonna be like a domino effect of freaking just ice collapsing into the water? And
how many times did I have to field that question? Like, so what? Like, will these? Like, what if there's a crack or what happens with it? It's like, it's not. It's fine. They're not going anywhere. Like, it's not gonna swallow up a house. It ain't like a sinkhole. It doesn't work like that.
The worst thing pops in my head though. Like Cassie made fun of me, but I was like, what if like a big rock comes through and it hits like the ice and it shatters all the ice? Like what happens then? And she was like, well, if that happened, probably nothing. Like she was the one who was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because
if a meteor came and hit the ice, that's the least your worries. Depending on the size of the meteor,
we're probably all dead.
you're screwed. It's not. That's not gonna be. That day is probably not gonna end well, regardless. It's gonna be a bad day, matter what.
When you're out on the ice, your first time, you never even thought about doing anything like this. It's kind of like, well, like this water's rising. What does that mean?
Yeah, and so I mean that does happen. It's not really common, but it's not necessarily uncommon either. You know, we talked about already earlier. When you get the weight of the snow on there, and you drill a hole, and it's some water comes up. But yeah, for your very first time fishing on the ice, and then you see that happen, it's probably a little unnerving.
For me, I was okay. I was a little tipsy, so it was fine for me. For Cassie, it wasn't. I caught a fish too, so I was like,
true. That's true. That makes it all better.
Let's stay. I'm cool with staying. Yeah. Oh, it's off. The generator turned off. That's fine.
Yeah,
oh no, it's not fine.
We started getting nervous. I'm like, yeah, we better not get stranded out here. Snowstorm's coming in. The generator's not working. Like we better get while the getting's good. I think it was the right decision to make. I really wish you guys could have. We'll just have to do it again. Like to spend as much as it kind of made her nervous. There's not many people, unless you're like from here, that can experience like they slept out on a lake. And being awoken with the sound of a rattle reel going off is one of the greatest joys in life.
I can't even imagine.
It's just the best.
It sounds awesome.
Alarms, you set your alarm from work, that sucks. That makes you angry when you hear that thing. But when you get snapped out of a dream because you hear clink, 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 you're like, yes! It's a matter of not, jumping out of bed and hoping you don't put your foot down a hole or trip over something.
That's something I would totally do, though. It sounds like something I would just...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it was pretty cool. So then we went to the river, caught some bass. They were biting pretty good.
They were biting hard. Like, every other cast was a bite.
It's pretty much if you made the right cast, you got bit.
Yeah.
If you got out far enough, which wasn't really that far, but you had to get. It's a different style of casting. It's live bait, and if you cast them too hard, the bait will go flying off. So you kind of got to, it takes a little bit doing. You guys did good. You followed directions well. You guys got it pretty quick.
Yeah.
You got it
I
down
mean, you got a
pretty
good teacher. What can you ask for?
quick. I don't know about all that, but
Well, I'll put it like this. I wasn't catching any fish at first. Then I was catching a bunch of fish after you said 3 things. So I'd say you're a pretty good teacher, bud.
well, Cassie was out fishing you, and I just couldn't stand to see it anymore. She was doing good on her own. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go
Jeez.
coach. I'm gonna go coach
Cassie's a
Buck here a little bit.
monster, though. Cassie she shoots things, she catches things. She just has this natural ability, this grit about her to just compete, and that's what I love about her so much. Is she just doesn't quit, like doesn't give a shit about. Like today, I knew she was tired. I went up to her and I'm like, hey, baby, you want to stay in and just relax today? Nope. I want to catch some fish.
She's all in, braving the cold and
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. No, you guys are troopers. With the weather challenges we had, you're right there soaking up that Minnesota experience. So we got you talking about the state fair. Maybe we'll get you out for that.
The state fair does sound good. Those cheese curds, man.
Oh, they're the best.
Oh,
Those are
jeez.
the pinnacle of cheese curds. Fresh out of the fryer, bro. Those are the
I'm
best.
so ready
And
to
the
come
people
out
watching
here.
is bar none, man. Second biggest state fair in the country.
Man, and you said there's bear activities, bear tags around that time?
So our bear season kicks off September 1st.
September 1st?
And so the Minnesota State Fair runs like the last weekend in August and through the first weekend, Labor Day weekend through in September. So yeah, I mean if you plan it right, you could definitely come bear hunting too.
See, I would love to at least donate some money to Game and Fish and buy a bear tag.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to do some, to be honest with you, because I'd probably be guiding. I'll be busy fishing. I wouldn't have time to bait. And it's stuff like that. We have outfitters for that up here too.
Yeah.
And we'd just have to look into what that would cost, because honestly, that'd be the way to go.
Hit up
They're gonna,
outfitter.
because it's great. They run around on wheelers and they manage multiple bait sites, and they're got trail cameras out, and they're gonna put you in a stand that's got activity.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you only come out. The bear
Couple
season,
days.
the baiting season. I think it's 2 weeks before the actual season kicks off when you can start baiting, and then then the hunting kicks in. It's like, well, who has the ability to take off 4 weeks of work
Mm-hmm.
to go run bait for 2 weeks and then hunt for 2 weeks while still running bait? You're still refreshing your bait sites, when you hunt too. So that's one of the things, on the last episode I was talking to Captain Donnie there. We talked about the benefits of being a guide and or not being a guide, but benefits of hiring a guide. And I think bear hunting is one of those things. Like if you're from the Twin Cities, you're from out of state, you just don't have the time luxury to be running your bait sites every day or every other day. All you can do is bait on the weekends, if you can even do that, because a lot of people are driving 2, 3, 4, 5 hours north to bear hunt, depending on where they're hunting public land or private land or wherever the heck they're hunting. So it's a time crunch. And man, if you can afford it, going through an outfitter.
You said
phew,
it.
that's
If you
gonna
can't
be,
afford it.
yeah, it's easy to say get a guide.
Yeah.
Some people just can't afford it, but
It's tough, man.
you gotta.
They work hard, and you got to pay them for what they're worth, and
Yeah.
it's
Time's money, man.
time's money.
If you're taking time off of work to do it, you got to think of it that way. How many hours did you miss out on?
I see how hard my buddy Josh worked. Like he wasn't even guiding me; he was just helping me, and I see how hard he worked before the season, like during the season, and then once we came down there, he was like on it, like in all that time and investment, gas, horse feed, sweat, you know what I mean, water. You got all the little things that he bought and did
Yeah.
just for us to get a chance to see some deer. Like that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of investment. So I see where the money's going. It's just not
Time's
something
money. Some people just don't have it, but I do think that it can be if it's something that somebody wants bad enough. It just comes down to discipline and budgeting. And save your pennies. Put your. I worked with this guy. I believe he was a carpenter. I don't remember his name, but he basically gave up hunting in in Minnesota or Wisconsin, wherever he was from, and he just works whenever he can, takes all the overtime available, and he doesn't take time off the deer hunt here. He doesn't duck hunt, doesn't do any kind of hunting here. He saves everything. He saves all his money that he would spend for those local hunting trips, and he puts that in a coffee can or it's a savings account or whatever it is, and every 2 years he goes to Africa. And that's what he does. And he hunts a different game animal every time. And then he, brings it back. He's got a big trophy room. And he's not rich. You think these trophy hunters, they're doctors and lawyers and stuff like that. This dude's carpenter, man. Like, yeah, he's making good money. He ain't rich, but this is what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he pinches his pennies. He saves it up. And yeah, it's a lot of money, but he doesn't do anything else. This literally is all he does. He works so he can save up for this trip every 2 years, and then he goes to
that's a smart
way to
do
hunt
it.
Africa. I mean, it's kind of an extreme example, but I mean, if somebody out there wanted to hunt bear or elk or whatever it was, and maybe they don't know what they're doing or they don't have the time to invest in scouting, and and they're like, wow, but the outfitter cost X amount of dollars, and man, that's just so expensive. I mean, if you really think about time that you take off of work, the money you're not making because you're not at work, and then you're learning the hard way. Maybe you go a couple seasons without any success, so now that's even more hours you missed off of work. Those 3 years, you add all that up, it might be the same cost as hiring guys, if not cheaper.
I hear that, but I agree, and I thought the same way. But as soon as I hopped on social media platform, so many people chimed in and offered to help me out because I was going to get a guy.
Yeah.
But this dude was like, no, don't pay $6,000. Like, you know what? Let me take you out. I'll take you out and we'll help you get your elk.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you're right about that because I was definitely going to do that.
That's definitely true. I mean, there are people out there willing to help, but there's not enough people for everybody, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean,
but there's not a lot of people.
And you have to be the right type of personality to hit it off with other people, to strangers.
Yep,
so
true.
Not everybody has that gift or ability either.
Not everybody who says they want an elk is willing to work.
That's for sure. And for me, it's like I understand the value of hiring a guide, but there's a big part of me that's a DIYer, that I'm not really afraid of failure. Like I've been hunting long enough now, I'm not afraid to eat tag soup. I don't want to, but that's not if I were to travel to Idaho for an elk hunt or something, it wouldn't be a nagging thing in the back of my mind. Like, oh man, 2 days left. I'm not gonna punch this tag, dude. This has been a total waste of time and money. It's like, no. If I don't know how you could spend a week in the mountains of Idaho and think that your time was wasted, you're not there for the right reasons, man. Man, forget it.
I'm not gonna
punching
lie.
that tag would be icing on the cake for me, man. That would just be
going to Wyoming and I set expectations for myself. And that's where I shot myself in the foot because I walked in there and in my head I'm like I knew I was gonna get the biggest buck if anyone ever seen.
Yeah, yeah. We set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, especially when you're new to the adventure, or the sport, hobby, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because I see you. You're new at this, and I know what you're going through. I remember sharing the same thoughts and the worrying about punching my tag and this stuff. Those are very new kind of hunting emotions. You've only 2 years you've been hunting basically.
2 years.
Yeah, so you got a lot of information you're taking in. You're equating part of that journey. Early on you're equating success with punching your tag, and if it's gonna you'll stick with it and you're going to experience some success. And after you experience some successes, that's when you kind of realize punching the tag isn't the biggest part of the trip. And I don't think you're that far off it because you really like we've already talked about today, the different people you meet along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that you don't know this person from Adam, but here you are having a conversation like you've known them your whole life. And it's those kinds of things that really go into a good hunt. Or even if there's people and you just there's that bonding you get, when you're out there in a pursuit of game or fish or whatever. Even if you're hiking or camping, if you're rock climbing, I mean, you're sharing that danger and you're sharing that experience with somebody else, and that's just a bond. I don't think you get that bond from sitting shoulder to shoulder playing PUBG.
Nope.
I mean, I just don't. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
It's just not. It's just not.
I mean, I made friends playing PUBG, but for the most part, it's nothing like.
There's no shared risk.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different. It's not even comparable.
No, it's not.
Not even.
Yeah, I mean, I've made friends in a bar. I mean, it's not to say that you can't make friends, but but they're different kinds of friends too.
And there's different levels of like respect that you have for that person. Like that guy didn't say a word to me until I started talking about elk, and then he was like, "Oh, you're an elk hunter," and then all of a sudden it was like this huge shift in his personality towards me. And it was like, well, hey, yeah, we have that in common. Like, what else do you hunt?
Right.
Well, I hunt deer around here, but I really just care once I have an elk in my freezer.
He goes, you asked him if you hunt deer here. He goes, no, why do I need a deer? I got an elk. What do I need a deer for? An elk is a lot more meat than a deer.
A lot more meat than a deer. Yeah.
But then he did admit that he bow hunts. So he still does deer hunt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he rifle hunts.
Yeah.
I don't think he gun hunts. So
I mean, out here. Excuse me. Yeah, getting tired, man. Whew.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be a quick one. I was just thinking, like, we were talking, we were both kind of our energy levels like. This is a much more laid back conversation. The first one we had, and we were all fired up. But man, it's been a grind the last couple of days.
It's been so worth it, and I gotta just sponsor you out, man. Anybody who is ever looking to go ice fishing or ever looking to have any kind of outdoor experience to where you're just going to be educated, you got to hit up Full Scale, because this man has taught me so much about fishing, not only on the ice, but even in the ocean. Fish in the current, look for this, look for that, look for the birds. There's certain little things that he teaches you that it sticks in your mind, and he doesn't say it to where he's like pounding it on you. It's more like a tidbit for your brain sort of thing, and it sticks with you. Because right after he told me these little 3 tricks, I was catching bass back to back to back. So look, I'm rambling, but this man is awesome. You guys gotta check out his ice house. It's amazing. Bring your kid and your wife. Guaranteed. Once she sees this thing, she will thank you for the vacation. I can guarantee you, because it's like it's a resort on the ice. I was gonna say on wheels. Yeah. It's a resort on ice.
It does have wheels.
It does have wheels?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it does have wheels.
Pulled it down the road. Wasn't dragging it the whole time.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate the kind words.
And I'm halfway asleep, too. So
yeah, I know. Got them all drunk up, paid to say those nice things. But, the ice fishing season in Minnesota here is winding down as far as the walleye pike season shuts down at the end of February. And then we still have panfish. So then we'll focus on, big crappies and bluegills and perch and stuff like that. But I think this is the time where people start planning their summer vacations. So I should let everybody know that, if you are looking for a trip, I'll be guiding open water, and we can go fish wherever you want, walleyes, muskies, bass, whatever. I mean, bass is kind of my specialty as far as angling goes, and it's pretty, I do it kind of tournament style where it's pretty intense, it's fast paced. But with that said, if you wanted to just take your kid out and, man, we'll go bobber fish and catch a mess full of bluegills, and I'll clean them up for you. We'll have a good fish fry. My thing for Full Scale Outdoors as far as a guide company was, I wanted to make it customizable. So you contact me. You're coming to visit Minnesota. The conversation you call me up. The conversation we're gonna have. What I'm gonna ask you is like, what do you want? What are in, dream big. Tell me, like, in a perfect world where everything works great, what are you hoping for? Oh, I want a 50-inch muskie, and I want to catch a walleye, and I want to catch this, and I want to catch that. Then it's going to be my job to tell you, okay, To do that, we'll probably have to do this, that, and the other thing. How long are you here for? You're only here for a couple days. Right, we might have to trim down your expectations just a little bit. Like, we're gonna have to narrow it down. Like, that's not enough time to do all of that. And then, we'll customize. If you want to do that, you don't want to. Maybe you want to fish a river, or whatever. Like, you honestly just tell me what you want to do, what you want to have happen, and I'll do everything in my power to make it happen. And if I can't do it, I'm gonna refer you to people that I know that do, to other guides, and whether I get the dollar or not, it doesn't matter. Like, I want you to come to Minnesota and have the best experience, the best Minnesota experience that you have. So then you'll come back. Minnesota's great.
Minnesota's
I
great.
love it.
I'm coming
back. It's a
back.
great place. And ultimately, I just want everybody to have a great time. If I can provide that, awesome. And if I can't, I'm going to find somebody that can, maybe I could do it, but I'm booked that weekend. Again, I'm going to refer you to somebody that can fulfill those dreams for you and make you happy.
I didn't think I would give a shit about coming back out here to do anything. No state fair, no bear hunting, no deer hunting. But now all those things are in the books.
Yeah, well, let's make it happen, brother. It's been great. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll make it back out we're talking about. We go somewhere everywhere for our anniversary in May. And we might just have to head back to the Bay Area. I know. I've never been to San Francisco. We were close to it when we was fishing down there.
Yeah.
But we never quite made it. And the wife wants to go out there too, so... And there'll be more sharks, more leopard sharks, bigger leopard sharks.
By that time, there's going to be a
lot more
of sharks.
Different kinds of sharks.
Yeah.
6 gills and all sorts of
and
different stuff.
And hopefully we can get a guide to
Yeah,
take
well, there won't
us
be a
out.
sportsman show going on that weekend, so guides will actually be taking customers out, and we'll charter a boat when we get out there.
Make it
the
crack.
next time. That'll
all
be great.
kinds of fun.
Yeah, we're tapping out here. I'm not even going to – I've been – I'm a half. We're recording for just 58 minutes, just under an hour, and I haven't even finished one beer. So that's uncharacteristic. So let's just wrap this thing up real quick before I do it, though. I know what if you go back and listen to the first episode, we list all your contact information and where they can find you. But go ahead, let's give it to them again real quick.
Well, I'm Buck the Black Hunter from Campfire Evolution. You can find me at Buck the Black Hunter on Instagram or Campfire Evolution on Facebook. And just, check me out, follow me, share my posts. I care a lot about the hunting community. I care a lot about people with disabilities and vets. And all I really want to do is help and provide these outdoors, exactly what Dale just provided for me. I just want to be able to provide these experiences for other people and just get them outside and appreciating life.
And it's that perspective, meeting new people and getting different points of view. You got a little catchphrase.
Oh,
Spit
yeah.
it.
Well, my catchphrase is bridging minds one backstrap at a time. I said it wrong. I fucked it up. I'm sleepy.
Oh, my God.
Bringing people together. Bridging. What is
Turn around. I'll read it on the back of your shirt. Bridging minds, saving lives, one backstrap at a time.
There it is.
Campfire Evolution.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I
there
love
it
it.
is.
I love it, man. All right, everybody, if you haven't done so, thanks. Full Scale Outdoors, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And thanks for listening. And if you've stuck it out this long, don't forget to subscribe and rate it. And give it a good review. And we will see you next time.
Adios.
Bye.